Hello and welcome back to Tidbit of Torah. This week we read a double portion, Vayekel Pikudei. And in Parshat Vayekel, we begin with words about gathering. Vayekel Moshe El Adat Bnei Yisrael. Moshe assembled. Vayekel, the root is Kuf He Lamed, the same root that we get with Kehila, which means community. Moses assembled the people of Israel so we could learn about the commandment of Shabbat, and so we could learn about the building of the Mishkan, the holy dwelling place of God. And I love this verb so much, and I'm so excited to be with Shira Teed, our Director of Community Engagement, because Vayekel is a verb. Often we think about community as a noun, something that just exists. But this Torah portion reminds us that community is also an active process, a verb, something we need to do, to assemble, to work on. And Shira, I'm wondering, as Director of Community Engagement, what your perspective is on community as a verb.
Well, I really like the idea that community is ever evolving, and that there should be a feeling of community that we get, and it really is truly a feeling as you build your community that brings meaning to our lives and brings joy and intention into each of our lives. So as we are doing this verb of community, there is a feeling that is almost indescribable.
That's great. Well, we read about Bezalel, the amazing artisan who helped people to be able to know how they could show up and bring elements to be able to build the Mishkan. How do you help people in this community to be able to find their place in that building and feeling process?
Well, we have many ways of entry to building community. Small groups, our HEA Connect groups, as well as Shabbat clubs. And these start with a group of mostly people that don't know each other very well. And through the act of doing something that is in common, either celebrating Shabbat with people that they may have a common interest in, something, an affinity, or whether they both have children of the same age. This is celebrating Shabbat together and building community, getting to know the people around you and being able to count on each other. And that's what we do in all of our engagement work here.
I really appreciate that relational focus. And it's actually exactly what we see in our Torah portion, because before we learn about the building of the Mishkan, again in this Torah portion, we learn about Shabbat. And in fact, the commentators like Rashi say that Shabbat actually trumps the building of the Mishkan, and that's why Shabbat is listed first before that, which isn't just to say just Shabbat, but the nature of relationship building and being together in holy community sometimes actually supersedes the doing and the work, and that without that relationship, you can't have a holy dwelling place where God can come in, without that intentionality perhaps for that. And I appreciate so much the work you do to help everyone in this community foster relationships. It's such an interesting way to think about the community work we do, and even in the Torah here too, as what they're building isn't just about the threads and the gold and the ark and things, but it's actually a tool in order to help people create community and relationships and things like that. So what would you recommend to folks that are seeking community in their lives, as many of us are after this pandemic?
Well, the first thing that I would recommend is to reach out to HEA, and I can be reached any time at Shira at headenver.org, and my job here is really to facilitate the connections between people. And it is wonderful what you shared, because it really reminds us that community doesn't happen in a place. It can happen anywhere. It can happen in our homes. It can happen in a soup kitchen when we're serving others, and it can happen of course, at HEA, at all sorts of different events, but reach out to me and I can help to connect you to a small group that can help build community and the kehillah that we all crave.
I love that. Thank you so much for helping us all think about the ways in which we can build community and also model this for our children, for those of us that have children too, about how is it that they learn the muscle memory, the skills to be able to create community in their own lives beyond screens or other passive ways of feeling connected, but to here to do the work. So thank you for joining us, and Shabbat Shalom.